Alright, so in this video I'm just going to show you how to run some examples which are included in Geant4. So in most cases when you're writing a simulation, you don't start from scratch, you build upon an existing simulation and then tweak it to suit your needs. So this is, in part due to the object-oriented nature of C++, we've got all these classes that do specific tasks. So if we want a certain functionality in a simulation, we can just copy that class or those files, our .hh and our .cc files from one simulation and add them to another simulation. So in Geant4, if we go to the install directory, so home software, so here we've got the source code of Geant4. This can just be downloaded off the internet, and then we've got the actual compiled version of Geant4. But if we go into Geant4, just the source code that you download, then you can see inside we've got this example directory. So if we go into there and list it, we've got all these different examples. And if we go for basic, there's nothing too much, not very creative names, but I'll go into that a bit more shortly. And if you go into extended, you get these various different groups of examples. So there's a directory called medical. So you'll see in this directory there's a collection of more examples, and similarly with advanced, you've got all these examples here. So if you want to use any included examples with Geant4, all you need to do is copy the examples. So I've gone back to my home directory. So if I just copy, get rid of tilde, home software, and copy Geant4 example directory. So a popular example is just the basic example. So this is very good to test if your installation, if you've installed Geant4 and your installation actually was performed successfully. Often you just run the B1 example. So I'll just make a copy of that in my home directory. So if I go ls, I can now see the B1 example is copied. So if I go into the B1 directory, I can see all these files. So every included example, I'll just do follow. So every included example in Geant4 has a README file, and it gives a basic description of what the simulation performs. So this basic one's actually quite descriptive for what it is, but as you'd probably expect, with being a basic one, you'd want to give good documentation. So with at least 90% of the examples, all you need to do to run it is just make a build directory, just so it's just like the same with our simulation we're playing with here, or we've played with earlier. So we make a build directory and we do a good old cmake on it. Once that's linked to all the files up above, as in all these good old main and source and the include files, once they're all linked, we can then compile it. And once that's finally compiled, we should be able to see the example B1 executable there. So we can just run that in interactive mode if we wanted, and that should pop up shortly. And if we open it, we see the geometry got here, and we can just close that. And if we just look at the included macros, and we can just run in batch mode and see it ran successfully. And so let's just go back to our home. So I'll show another example. So again, go cp into the directory where the source code of Geant4 is located. So go Geant4 samples, and let's move to extended, and let's go to medical. And if I just tab that, see all the directories in here. So let's copy DICOM. So DICOM is an example in Geant4 which shows how to read in a DICOM file and score dose in it. So if I just copy this directory, left off recursive, just add that, cp-r, put in my home directory. So again, now I've got my DICOM example copied in. So just go into there, see all the files. Again, always helpful to read the README and description here, blah, blah. You can see the macros. So here we've got what macro for batch mode, and for interact mode as normal, just run it by itself. So again, if we make a build directory, go build, then good old CMake to link the files, and these options were listed. So in this case, there's some options CMake for DICOM head, and it's switched off, and that's why it's printed there. So our CMake was done successfully, so we can compile. And while that's doing that, I'll just point out the added complexity of this simulation compared to the one we've been playing around so far, which EDEP sim. So we see quite a few more extra classes compared to what we were working with. So that's built successfully. So if we just want to run it if we just want to run it in interactive mode, as with most of the simulations, we just have to do / and then the simulation name to run in interactive mode to see the visualization. And this might take a bit extra time due to the complicated nature of DICOM files. And so here you see a DICOM slice of the thorax of, I'm not sure if it's human or a phantom, but based on the dirtiness, like the noise, I'm guessing it's a actual patient. But you see you've got a beam there, and that's partly why this visualization's going so sluggish, because of this beam. But if you don't have the beam running in the viz macro, it makes it a lot quicker. So actually, just to show you that, I might actually, if I remember correctly, but I won't spend too much time on it, if we get rid of this run beam on, I'll keep tracking verbose on, but I'll just get rid of this tracking verbose and then run again, and I think that makes it a lot faster to run, or maybe slightly faster. Yeah, so it's a bit hard to see on the video, but I feel less laggy when I'm moving it. And finally, if we wanted to run in batch mode, if I just check the README, it was run.mac, so ls, then this run.mac, where was it? I'll just go cat run.mac. So it's going to run 100 particles. What the particle is, it looks like it doesn't use GPS, so it'll be in the primary generator. So if I just list the contents of the primary generator should tell me what particle it's running. So I'll just scroll down, and so it's shooting an electron. So, as you use more and more Geant4 simulations, you will get a knack for just going through different programs, and just having a knack of where to look for certain things. So naturally, it comes with experience. So if you're thinking, why is he know where to look straight away, use it enough, you get the knack of it. So let's just run this in interactive mode. So DICOM and run.mac. So it's running 100 particles or so. Wasn't it? So that's finished there. So if we look at what was created when it just ran, so there's this output called DICOM out. So we list this. What we're seeing here is the voxels we saw when it was being visualized, and this is just the dose which was deposited in those voxels with those 10 electrons. So that's just a quick little example to show how to run the example simulations included with Geant4. So as again, when you're writing simulations to perform some study, you never really start from scratch. You always just build upon existing code. So a good place to start whenever you're actually running a simulation for some study is to look through the Geant4 examples, just Google it and see what the different examples offer, and that's that.